The title might sound clickbaity. It's not. What's up, you guys? Welcome to today's video. As you can tell by the title, I have a crazy story for you guys today. Before we get into that, if you guys are new here, hi, my name is Jess. I'm a person in long-term recovery who has served time in prison, and my entire crazy life story is in the description box down below. If you want to follow me on any other social media platform, TikTok, Instagram, Patreon, that's $2. It's only ever going to be $2. All of that is linked down below, as well as my podcast and my vlog channel. I am also a proud partner with Groups Recover Together. They are both online and in-person treatment program. They strongly lean on harm reduction. They 420 friendly, and they're an amazing team of people. So that is in the description box as well. Whew, that was a lot. All right, I've kept y'all waiting long enough. Let's kick this thing off. This is Cass.
Oh, hi guys.
She has a crazy story. We actually already did a podcast together, but you are so animated. We need you on video. We need all of the energy.
I came with a lot.
Yes. So you struggled with addiction for a really long time.
I did. 20 years, 2 decades. I've been an active addict longer than I've been not.
Yeah.
I started using recreationally in high school. I was a freshman in high school. But the addiction kind of took hold of me when I was 19.
I think I thought I was going to start recreationally too. Like I thought it was a party. Then you just wake up one day and you're like, oh shit, no.
This isn't fun anymore.
There's something wrong.
The party was over a long time ago.
So you struggled with homelessness and prison and all kinds of family drama, which we're definitely going to get into. Or what was your first incarceration stay?
Oh, so when I was in high school, there was a bunch of us girls and we decided we were going to go steal credit cards from people and use them as a teenager. So my first set of criminal charges, I was actually 16 and I got 5 felonies for.
Wow.
So I was 16 the first time I was arrested and put in a holding cell.
What was that like for you at 16? Were you terrified?
I mean, I was terrified, but I was like, people are gonna think I'm so cool now. I got arrested.
Oh my God. I relate
that.
I relate so much to that because people have underestimated me all my life and said that you're not tough, you're not strong, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't sell drugs because you're a girl, like you shouldn't do any of those things. But when I got arrested and didn't snitch and did my time at 17, it gave me some street cred. It didn't help me get out of the life, it enhanced it.
It's true. It is so, agreed. I didn't end up going to jail and staying, but I did get a year probation, and when it was like that Monday when I went back to school, everybody was like, oh my God, you were in a cop car! And I'm like, I know! Did they let you hit the button? Not even a little.
No. They don't play.
They said, do you think this is cute? He was kind of cute.
How did the year of probation go?
Well, I got pregnant. Surprise. I mean, what else? I can't do anything. Let's just make babies. So I had a year probation. The stipulations were to maintain a 3.0 or a B average in my classes. No absentees that were unexcused. Obviously not getting any more trouble. And I did all of that. I ended up graduating high school when I was 17, so a year early. Now I did get pregnant. So I got out of community service. Because I had to do community service too, but then I was pregnant. So
yeah, don't get pregnant to get out of community service. But
yeah,
hey.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Can you put just TW? This is not advice.
You have your son, and your addiction is still a very real part of your life. So how was that experience? Because you were a baby.
I was a bit. I just found a picture. Well, somebody gave me a picture when I was in active addiction, and I didn't it was just so weird because back in my day, my glasses. Back in my day, we didn't have photos on a phone. We had 4x6 that you go when you get developed, and if you were lucky, maybe you could upload something to your computer and print it off on your own paper. Thank goodness there's not a lot of proof, but when you actually see a picture of yourself when you were that sick, it's weird. It's like, that's not me.
I say the same thing.
So
there's no proof because my addiction, I've been in recovery for 10 years, and my last 4 years, I was are you taking a picture of me? Put your phone away. Like, I was crazy with it. I know what I looked like. I didn't want people to document my death.
Yeah, I thought I looked good. I thought I was walking around looking hot. It looked like I was gonna melt away.
So where were your parents during this time?
So I was adopted when I was 8. Jess already knows that. So I knew my mom, like, since I was born, I guess. But I didn't know my birth father. I didn't actually end up meeting him until just a few years ago. Oh, wow. So when I was in the thick of my addiction, my mom had already come back into my life at that point because I was in high school when she started coming around to be part of our family again. Side note, I was raised by my grandparents. So it's still within our family. It's just I was raised by my grandparents instead. This is the story. So yes, my mom and I are friends now, but not for a long time. So I was heavy into using just powder at this time. My mom was using powder with my friends because I went to jail for something for a weekend. I get back and she's hanging out with my friends. So that was always very awkward, like doing substances with this person that's supposed to be your parent.
Yeah.
Like giving you good, healthy advice and whatever. What is that called? Role model. Good Lord.
Yeah.
She wasn't a very good role model. I didn't mean to yell at y'all. So that sucked. Anyways, I had a boyfriend that's the father of my first son. So I was 19. This is the first time I started smoking. From powder went to hard, if I can say that. My mom and my ex and I and somebody else, we were gonna have like a party at my mom's house. I don't really know how to say it. We're gonna have a party at my grandparents' house where my mom was temporarily staying with us, and because they were out of town. Well, I had gotten in a fight with my boyfriend and left, and when I came back the next morning, it was my mom was still there, my ex was still there, the other friend was not there. But the problem was, I come in and I go down in the basement and my mom is there and my boyfriend at the time is there in the same bed with no underwear.
No.
Yeah, it was traumatic. So what do, right? I'd just leave. Or I could stand there and take pictures so they can't say I didn't do it. Again, we didn't have the technology. I would have been the creeper in the corner. Be like, I've got some for your ass.
Oh my God. Joe from you.
Oh, yes, very Joe-ish. So my first physical reaction was, off with the blankets. You thought I was gonna say his head? No. Maybe a little bit. I ripped the blankets off and I was like, oh my gosh, this is even worse than I thought it was. So I was like man-hitting him in the chest to wake him up.
Oh my God.
And then I was shake my mom. They were passed out. So apparently the night before they were under the influence of substances, and which I knew because I was there too until I left. And at one point or another, I guess they just pretended like they were boyfriend and girlfriend. We did break up after that, but that's
yeah,
that's the night I went back to jail for stealing my mom's car, because after I had woken them up, I was like, if I stay here, I'm gonna start. I was already getting physically violent. Like I wasn't trying to beat them up, but I was like, you get so mad, you're gonna explode. So you're like throwing things and you're just like, ah. Well, I was at that stage. So I went all the way out to the car and I took my mom's keys and I left. I went to my friend's house to chill out, and that's when I realized I couldn't sniff anymore because I had been so emotional. So everything's like, you can't breathe.
Oh, I can't imagine.
So they're like, why don't you try to smoke it? Yeah, that sounds great, right? That makes everything better. Nobody likes to be sober. So I did. So that's actually how I remember the first time that I smoked, girl. And I got arrested like shortly after I tried it because I was just at a friend's house. My mom had called the cops, reported her car stolen, said, I know who has it and I know where she took it. So they came and they picked me up. I'm high as a kite for the first time off of that, which I can't even describe it. And I went to jail for the weekend and like they let me out and I got an unauthorized use charge. It's not the same as a grand larceny because it's a family member, which families don't do that. Don't be that guy or girl or non-binary. Just don't. Well, that was, I don't know. So there's that.
I just can't imagine, like, you just want to get out of that situation because you just saw your baby dad and your mom naked in bed together. And you're so angry, you're so emotional, you're so hurt and upset. You just want to get away. So your first instinct is just take the car and leave.
Mm-hmm.
And you want to feel better, so you want to use. And the whole time your mom is trying to report this car stolen.
Yeah.
Not like, oh my God, I just hurt my daughter. I slept
Nope.
with her baby dad. She needs to go to jail.
And so this is the crazy thing. This was years ago. Okay, so I'm actually 37. My biggest bout of addiction was 19 to, I don't know, honestly, till about 30. 35, well, till recently. But I've been clean for almost 2 years. And at that stage, I needed help. I needed to slow down, so I can't get mad at her. But Jesus, I don't even know what I was saying. She makes me so mad. Oh, I tried to bring it up recently. So I asked my mom about it. I said, hey, do you remember that one time I caught you in bed with beep, this person's name? She was like, what are you talking about? I was like, don't do that. Just don't. And that makes it like worse. Like if you own up to it, like, yeah, I know. Not that I'm going to play dumb. Because at one point she came to visit me in prison and she fessed up about it. And she felt so bad because I didn't talk to her for like years because of that. And she also testified me in a court case. And so I was 2 years out from getting released from prison. She came to visit me. Finally, I let her. And for 2 hours, that was part of her apology tour, was this specific situation. I did get out of prison, and then I stayed on the right path, kinda. And eventually we worked on our relationship. So she's where she needs to be, finally.
So your mom made amends. She attempted to back then. Recently, she's been like, no, it wasn't me.
Yeah, she tried.
Yeah. So how's her recovery now?
She's clean-ish, so she doesn't smoke rock anymore. I don't notice her doing powder. So from my perspective, she's doing well. Mentally, physically, I would trust her with my children again, which is a big deal.
Yeah, that's huge.
It's like, yeah. Now, do I enjoy hanging out with her for an extended amount of time? Not the most. Just because she has a very strong personality.
Oh, kind of like
Wonder where I get it from, right? Apple of the tree much?
So you eventually served 8 years in prison. It's a lot of time, like, together.
5 of my years I was in the prison. The other, it was 15 months in the county jail. So that's segment together. And the other ones were just like a couple of weeks. I did like a 4-month bid. It was like a 6-month sentence or something.
So you've done 8 years. 6 was the most at one time.
Yeah.
But 6 is a long time. So what did you go to prison for that?
It was a larceny violation. That was the chunk of it. And then I had a second and third DUI that had a driving on suspended, driving on revoked. That portion was a 3-year sentence for the DUIs. And then the larceny was 5 years, originally suspended 4. And then they only went to jail twice for that one.
So it was
the original arrest and then the rearrest.
It was the diamond heist?
Yeah.
You have to tell everyone.
Okay.
You're like Larry Lawton, the female version.
Yeah, I think he might be my dad. He might be the other part of my unfamiliar family members, so.
You're lovely.
In a nutshell, when I was working on the streets, using my body, I got to the point where I was so strung out. The thought of people touching me made me even more uncomfortable. Yeah. When you're homeless and a female and look like you're 12, it's a lot more danger out there to live on the streets and to use your body in that way. And I needed to stop because I was afraid I was going to die, honestly, or somebody was going to kill me. Not be like polite like Joe. I would have just been sucking the whole time. Anyways, so I thought maybe I'll just start robbing places, but in a gentle, kind way, because I'm not an aggressive person. Don't get me wrong, but I'm not aggressive.
You're not at all.
So I had this engagement ring that had a fake stone in it, and I decided that was going to be like a diamond ring that I could sell. So I popped the stone out of this ring. It's like, I don't know, 3 or 4 karat cubic zirconia. So what is that, glass? Plastic?
Yeah.
And I go to a jewelry store and I'm looking at engagement rings and I'm like, do you do your own designs, like personal settings? And they're like, yeah, sure, let me show you the jewels. Okay. Sure, bring them. So the lady brings out all of these little stones, and she's can only hand me one at a time, you know, with her little tweezers. Like, and I'm over here just fumbling with it, right? Because, oh, I drop it. Look, no diamonds. And then I pick up not the real one, and I give it back to her. Did you know that the weight of a diamond is lighter than a cubic zirconia? So when they weighed the stone to clean it and to put it back in the shelf, it was too heavy. I dropped the ball. But I tell you what, when you go to jail for a crime that involves your brain, you can learn how to do better. But that's not what we're doing.
No.
Right? But people are like, oh, you know what you should have done? I was like, maybe not smoke crack in the beginning. That could have helped.
Valid suggestion.
Yeah.
You took the loose stone.
I did.
You got into a cab.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I take a cab driver this entire heist. I have a cab driver for why? Because number one, I'm homeless again. So I was like, I had a car to sleep in, or let alone drive me anywhere. So I take a cab, and back in those days, there was no Uber or what else? I don't know, Lyft. There was none of that. It was 1-800-YELLOW-CAB. Probably not the right number, so don't try to call it. And come pick me up. Well, the cab driver was such a, I don't know, cooperative person for the police to talk to. He basically said, this is where I took her, this is where I took her, this is where I took her. She gave me a $100 tip, but I'm not going to tell you about that part. And this is where I dropped her off. And my happy ass is still over there, just waiting for the cops to come.
So you went from the jewelry store in a cab to a pawn shop.
Yep. I pawned it. And I pawned it at a place that I knew people. And I'm wondering if they're like, she looks like she's going to die. I want to know what was going on in their mind, because they saw my progression of my drug use. They could see all of that happening.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
When I saw the picture of myself the other day from that time period, I was like, oh. And I was so tan, but I was tan because I was living outside, so I was always in the sun.
So just so everyone understands the Diamond Heist story,
sorry,
you made $3,000. And went to a hotel where the cops found you like so fast.
Yeah, so fast, like the same day. So I stole the diamond, I switched it out, and that was in the morning, probably around 10 or 11. And they arrested me. They've got to have been right by dinner time. Like, I don't think the 6 o'clock shift switched over. I need to look into that, but it was definitely that afternoon. And so what had happened, after I had left the pawn shop, I'm going, and it's 5 minutes down the road from the jewelry to the pawn was like 5 minutes. So by the time I was pawning that ring, they were probably on the phone with the police reporting it stolen. So, you know, it wasn't too hard for them to track me down because I took the same driver to the same locations. It
was like no police work.
Yeah,
like
literally nothing. There was no, Inspector Gadget did not get called at all. But I do believe the yellow cab got called.
Yeah.
By the cops. It's because the woman that worked there, she was like, I saw her leave in a yellow cab. Free shout out to Yellow Cab Company.
Bruh. So not thinking clearly,
not
obviously.
thinking.
How much did prison teach you about how to be not that way?
No.
No. People think that prison, you know, will help you learn something and you're gonna come out, you're gonna be a different person. It's not that way. Why are you the way that you are?
Yeah, so you think you're gonna go in with the big word is reform. It's gonna change you.
It's adorable.
It does. It changed. It made me more educated in criminal behavior.
Yeah.
It gave me a kind of an upper hand on street and how the system really works, because you see it from the inside, and it's a lot. It's sad, honestly.
Disastrous.
It's pretty chaotic.
You know, I can tell you everything about criminal charges in certain states, and I'm really knowledgeable on the law. I'm obviously not a lawyer. Get a lawyer. Don't call me. But it's when you see it firsthand and you're studying these cases and these laws to try to get yourself out of a case, that is when you're truly invested in the law. And I promise you, every time I got arrested in New York, I'd get these legal books and I'd spread them all over the day room, and I would be that person reading case law to try to get myself out of, like, criminal possession. Like, bro, you're not getting out of this. They caught ya. But that's, you know, if an officer made a mistake at the arrest, I'm gonna figure it out to get out. Like, my criminal mind was very good. And that's not a flex. I'm just saying, I'm like, oh, if this cop ever makes a mistake, I'm watching every single detail of every arrest I've ever had just to get out of it. Because New York, you can get out of things if you're clever enough, and I learned that. So the system taught me how to be a better criminal. Obviously, I didn't stop breaking the law. I didn't stop getting caught. I was an addict as well. Just to kind of finish your story, you had a baby at 16.
17.
Oh, I'm sorry, 17.
I got pregnant on my 17th birthday.
So things kind of came full circle for you.
Yeah.
And that you weren't there with your son until he was a teenager. How did that feel?
Oh, like that was the worst. I mean, when I tell you the hardest thing of my addiction and incarceration was knowing that it affected the relationship with my son. And when you come from a toxic family already, you automatically, at least for me, say, I'm not gonna be like that, right? And so then it's kind of like you let yourself down, because you were, but.
Now he's a man.
He is a man, he's over 20.
Wow. That's crazy how fast time goes too.
Yeah, I don't like it.
How is your relationship with him now?
It could be better, so I have hope. It's just right now he's a young adult and he's just becoming independent and he's very quiet and reserved and so not my DNA. But I know that eventually, I think when he gets more maturity behind him, then we will have a solid emotional relationship again.
Yeah.
So, but
it's getting there. You're doing all the right things.
And that's the key. You could say whatever you want, just being consistent in the right direction. You know, things will fall in place. May not be tomorrow, but you can't just not stop. You can't just stop.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you. I have one last question and then I'll let you drink your coffee. If you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Give yourself more credit. Because I think I had a problem with validation from others.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so true.
How would I have done that for? I don't know.
Mindy said something really similar.
Mindy is my friend. She's her friend too.
Yeah.
Mindy's amazing.
Don't claim Mindy all for yourself.
You can have the left side.
Is there anything else that you want to say before I kick you off the channel? We make fancy pasta. I feed my guests like crazy.
Everything, even a mint on my pillow. I don't even like mints, but I like her mint.
She's lying. You can follow Cass on TikTok. She makes some hilarious TikToks, some heartbreaking ones, and they're all real and they're all vulnerable. Her story is so impactful, and you're gonna get so much on her TikTok. So be sure to follow her over there. She's also gonna do YouTube, or else. To pressure everyone. You're gonna be like, okay, chill with telling everyone to be a YouTuber.
Well, I talk a lot, and I don't know if you can tell. I'm a talker, so I look forward to finding my voice more and using it more, because you guys are amazing.
I'm gonna link her YouTube channel too. Go subscribe to that and give her some love, give her some heart so that she feels more confident to get on this app, because she's so good.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna end today's video here. As always, I love y'all. Stay safe, stay in recovery. Don't steal diamonds from stores and then take a yellow cab. Bye, you guys. But you know, I was gonna say something wise, then nothing came out. I'm gonna ask you a really stupid question that I know the answer to, but I think it's so funny.